circle, Big Chris. And look at the guns on his partner.
This kid is named Zandig, as you can hear. And this crowd is hot. And can you blame them? Because it is the historic first ever event from WXO Wrestling. A lot of surprises coming your way. And Stan, I can't emphasize enough what an honor it is to be with you. I know that you have seen your share of tag team matches, and it's going to be great to hear your commentary on this one.
Well, you know, tag teams to me have always been so exciting. As you know, of course, I was in the Fabulous Ones, the Midnight Express, the Heavenly Bodies. But sitting here beside you, calling the action for these young guns that are coming up. And, you know, the phones are ringing off the hook at WXO. Top talent from all over the world are going to come here because they know this is the place to be.
And I can tell you we're going to have some big surprises this hour, this premiere, this the flagship of WXO Wrestling. Adam Pearce making his way along with the former World Tag Team Champion and the former one-half of the U.S. Champion, Tommy Rogers, a man, Stan, you have faced countless times in the ring.
Tommy Rogers no stranger to me. And check out the build. Check out the body on Tommy Rogers. See what he's like a fine wine. He gets better built with age. The guy spends tremendous amounts of time in the gym, pumping the iron. He's not the biggest guy in the square circle, but I tell you what, he's got guts and he's got fortitude.
Tommy Rogers, a 15-year veteran of professional wrestling, along with Bobby Fulton. He was a member of the Fantastics, along with the Midnight Express, and one of the most successful tag teams in all of professional wrestling history.
Well, as you know, let me just tip my own hat one more time. The Fantastics were a spinoff of my first tag team, the Fabulous Ones. They wore the tails, the top hats, but you know, they say imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, so I have no animosity against Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton for doing that, and it's great to see Tommy Rogers still back in the ring.
And what's interesting about Tommy Rogers' partner, this kid, Adam Pearce, was named Scrap Iron by his own father. He's out of Chicago. And check this out, Stan, he's just 21 years old. Tommy Rogers will kick it off against the 6'6", 260-pound, 65-pound Erik Watts from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Well, definitely a mixed... Tommy Rogers getting a little wiry in his older age, isn't he?
Tommy Rogers, 5'9", 215, powered over by Erik Watts, but you're not going to see Tommy Rogers take even a half step back. Now the collar elbow tie-up, and Erik Watts with that mask. Oh, he tried to do it again, and Rogers ain't going to take any stuff at all.
Tommy Rogers has always reminded me of one of those Jack Russell Terriers. You know, those little wiry terriers that think they're really big, but they're not that big. But they don't know it, see? They'll fight anybody.
That's a very good point. I think it's very well taken that they don't know that they're not a Great Dane. They don't know that they're not a German Shepherd. And you're right, Tommy Rogers, as we said, 15 years in the business, and stomping now with Erik Watts, the whip, and right in the gut. And Rogers, look out, he drives Watts right head first into the ring. Oh, and Zandig gets it right in the throat. Adam Pearce and Tommy Rogers have cleared the ring.
Tommy Rogers is as fluid as a bottle of water. Looking good. Tommy Rogers has told me earlier that he's this kid a lot, this Zandig kid.
Yeah.
He's very young. He's green, as we say in the business. But I tell you what, he's got a heart, and he wants to be a superstar. And where better to go to be a superstar in the new millennium than right here, WXO.
This Adam Scrap Iron Pearce, as we said a moment ago, just 21 years old. He believes the master he is of the jumping pile driver, but he's been wrestling about 5 years, he says, professionally. So we're going to take a look now first, it looks like, at Zandig, the two young guns going after it, Zandig and Adam Pearce.
Well, we've been on before. You're going to see some wily veterans here. Oh, my goodness. Straight down the mat. That's not a good way to start right there for Zandig.
Nice maneuverability. 6'2", 255 pounds. Zandig as well. He is a master of the hardcore style. And Stan, I know that you've seen this guy before. He looks familiar to you.
Well, he certainly does. I buzzed you earlier when I saw him in the back. I've seen this kid on Nightline.
That's right. He was on with Ted Koppel, in fact, as one of the proponents of the hardcore style of wrestling. Nice high hip toss there by Adam Scrap Iron Pearce. A deep arm drag. Oh, with authority and again, right in the throat. Beautiful drop kick there by the kid. And Zandig says, I've had enough. And Erik Watts says, well, wait a minute now. I think I'm going to slow things down.
I don't know if we're going to call this kid Scrap Iron or perhaps Platinum.
Yeah, that's a very good point. You know, that maneuver just there by Erik Watts kind of reminded me of something that Sweet Stan Lane is very famous for, and that is slowing things down if the momentum gets out of hand.
Well, sometimes you got to back up and punt, you know. If the momentum's not in your favor, pull back, and start all over again.
Look at Tommy Rogers. As we said, towered over by Erik. Watch. Oh, and he knew where Watts was going with that. Let's see if Watts tries it into Geary from the left. No, he doesn't. Tommy Rogers picks him up. Oh, no, look at that from Pearce. Great teamwork.
And that's what tag team wrestling is all about.
And if anybody knows that, it's you, Stan. 1, 2, and almost a 3 count there.
Well, you know, the many hours you spend on the jet planes, in the cars, your tag team partner, you spend the time with, you're almost married to the guy. You talk about these moves, you plan it out, then you get in the ring, and it all happens, and it makes it all worthwhile.
And a double chop there by Adam Pearce and Tommy Rogers. This kid, as we said, named Scrap Iron, he is actually training to be a plumber, he says, if he doesn't make it in the world of pro wrestling. But I'll tell you, I think he's not going to need that training. And Tommy Rogers blocks Zandig. This guy is explosive.
Well, so far, he's been roto-rootering the competition here.
That's a nice analogy, a nice way to put it, and Zandig is still looking at him. He got blocked here by Tommy Rogers, and as you said, Stan, look at the guns on this guy.
Look at the strength of Tommy Rogers. Outweighed, outmanned, but you see, he just took Erik Watts right over the top. He's very, very strong. Tremendous tendon strength from Tommy Rogers.
Right here, in fact, in the St. Petersburg, Florida area. Nice pass again, nice teamwork, and the big man Erik Watts goes down. Adam Pearce with a 2.5. Erik Watts so lanky, as we said, 6'6", he was able to kick out of that at 265-pound Stan. This kid has had a tough time of it, as you know, a very famous father, and I can't imagine a tougher thing than entering the same profession as the profession that your father was in. It was so successful.
Well, he has some awfully big boots. I first say shoes, but big boots to follow in. Cowboy Bill Watts, a living legend. And as you said, yes, it's very, very tough. But you know what? This kid, I like this kid. He's got the current look, you know. He's not doing the cowboy thing like dear old dad did. He's doing his own thing. He's going his own route. The kind of not really gangbanger look, but the new look, the millennium look, if you will.
The new millennium and the new wrestling promotion of WXO. Looks like Watts has blown out his knee.
Maybe some ligament damage.
That is a very serious thing. If Watts is... Oh!
He suckered him in, Cruz.
He sure did. Smart move, I guess, there on the part of Watts. The fans don't like it, but Watts and Zandig love it. There's an opportunity for young Watts. 1, 2, and almost a 3 there on Tommy Rogers. A big upset for Watts and Zandig if they can beat a team that's headed by Tommy Rogers, Stan.
Erik Watts lured right into that trap. Probably learned that from his dad. You know, Bill Watts used to lure the guys in and then nail them.
Both inside and outside the ring, and Erik Watts goes for the clothesline. He misses. Tommy Rogers.
Oh, DDT. Oh, man.
Rogers is hurting. And Adam Scrap Iron Pearce. He knows he's got to get a tag to his partner, Tommy Rogers.
That's the name of the game in tag team competition. Keep the fresh man in the ring. Tag out and rest.
And that's what they've been doing. Hey, wait a minute. There was no tag there. No tag at all. All 4 men in the ring. And Adam Pearce on Zandig. And a whip. Look out. Tommy Rogers. Monkey flip. Zandig is out. Adam Pearce. Same thing. No.
On the back of his head.
God, landed right on his head. And Erik Watts, no. He could have got the pin. Smart move there by Tommy Rogers. Adam Pearce moves over, and Zandig drops the elbow. Hey, wait a minute, ref. Wait, no. 1, 2, and 3. That's it. Rogers and Pearce have been defeated.
Well, the classic switcheroo type deal. You've seen tag teams do it so many times. Look at the size of that.
What was that? Wow. Did you see that massive fan?
Yeah, you know what?
He looked mad.
Well, you know, wrestling is so hot now. They're here to see him again. We've got all kind of fans here.
Hey, wait a minute.
They want to be wrestling.
Wait a minute. Let me interrupt. I'm told but let's go back now. Wait a minute. There's a silver Mercedes. Who is that? Who has arrived here at WXO? Stan, we've told a lot of superstars, as you said earlier, we're looking to come into WXO. Who is that?
Well, it's been a constant procession of limousines all night. Look at the size of this guy's back. You can serve a sport on that guy.
Great tension and anticipation. We'll try to find out